I didn't read on Our Selection because I thought it was really fucking boring, and it's about like bogans in the backyard and they have sheep or something, and something goes wrong, and then he runs for political office. I didn't read The Floating World because it looked really boring. I couldn't get my hands on it really. I got very lazy today. But I get it's about like people in the Navy or something, or they're on a cruise ship and there's an Asian one and there's lots of racist people and there's a lady with big sunglasses and a big hat. I didn't read The Club. I think it's about cricket. The one day of the year. I'll try and be quick with this one because my last one I already did it and the video like randomly didn't have sound, which was odd. Anyway, the one day of the year. So there's this father called Alf who fought in World War II somewhere, I don't know where. Anyway, his wife, whose name is Dot, but she's just called Mum in the script, is like just lives with him and is always offering people tea, going, "Do you want some tea? Do you want some tea? Do you want some fucking tea?" And she's always offering tea. That's all she does basically throughout the whole book. Anyway, so Al's like a typical chauvinistic, drinks a lot, Anzac Day veteran, I guess, in those days. It's set in like the 60s or something. Um, and his friend Waka, or Waka, I don't know. Anyway, Wacka, always comes over and, like they drink together and they talk about the war and shit. And, Waka has fought in World War One and Two, because he put his age up to get into the first one and put it down to get into the second one. So he's fought with Alf and his father, and so they get along. But Waka never talks about the war and never brags, whereas Alf is always like, "Oh, I was in World War Two. I've done so much for you people. I fought for your freedom." Blah blah blah. Basically, Alf's a big dickhead and I hate him and he's shit. And the whole book is like him just getting drunk and yelling about things, and it's really quite unpleasant. Anyway, so his son Huey. Oh wait, I should go back. Alf works as a lift driver, as in someone who controls an elevator in a hotel, I think, because he can't get any other work, I don't think, and he talks about getting promotions and stuff, but I'm pretty sure he's making it up. Or, well, like, it never happens anyway. Um, and so, well, Alf is obsessed with Anzac Day, and their younger son Huey, who's like 19 or 20 or something, hates it, because although his father thinks, oh, it's a great celebration of our heroes, Huey thinks, oh, it's just a whole bunch of old retards getting drunk together, passing out, vomiting on each other, because that's what he's seen his whole life, which is fair enough. Anyway, and so Huey has a girlfriend, because he goes to university, does accounting, and he works on the student newspaper or something, and he met her through there, and her name's Jan. Lovely name, isn't it? Ugh. Anyway, and she's quite nice. She's from like the upper part of town, so she's rich, unlike this like commoner family who's like all a bit bogan. Anyway, so him and her have lots of conversations like, how are we gonna make it together? How are we gonna be together if our families don't mix or whatever? And eventually they get over it and they're like, okay, we'll make it work. So basically, not a lot happens for a while. Like, the mother makes tea, Alf gets drunk, Alf rants about Anzac Day, Huey's like, I don't like Anzac Day, and there's lots of arguments that don't really result in an awful lot. They talk to Waka a little bit about his experience at Gallipoli, because that's where he was in World War One, and how it was a big military disaster, and how sad it was for him and all this stuff. And, basically Jan comes over for dinner or something, meets them. Actually, she comes over to have sex with Huey, so it's not a dinner really, is it? Anyway, and so she meets the family. They don't like her. She's a bit snobby. She starts an argument about the war. Basically, she disses Anzac Day and everything, and Huey agrees with her, and the family's all right. And then as soon as she leaves, they're all like, "What a bitch! I hate her. She's so snobby. She's rich. Blah blah blah." Anyway, the mother has a gambling addiction. I just thought I'd throw that in there. It's not important, but I thought it was interesting because she basically has no character apart from that. Anyways, so the whole plot, a whole lot of nothing happens. Not just conversations about nothing until it builds up to this big Anzac Day crisis thing, because Huey has to write a report for the newspaper thing, and basically, and she's doing the pictures or whatever. So they decide, because it has to be on Anzac Day, that they're just going to show like the whole drunken retard side of Anzac Day and just expose it and stuff, because that's what Huey wants to do. And but he never wants his father to see it because it'll piss him off. Anyway, so they get in a big argument, and then yeah, at one point his father slaps him across the face, which is lovely. What a great character Alf is. What a lovely person. Anyway, and so Huey does the report. Okay, so his father finds the report, cracks the shit, and goes, "I can't believe you did that, because Anzac Day is like the most precious thing in the world to me, blah blah blah, and everyone's like, oh Elf, you're a horrible person. They all gang up on him because he's being a big sod, basically, and then he has like this weird breakdown and goes, sounds like today's the only day of the year where people actually care about me, where I'm not just a loser driving a lift, where people actually think that I'm worthwhile and you can get together with your friends and stuff. And so it's kind of understandable, but it's a bit, it's kind of sad. It's just tragic, really. Anyway, and so he's like, Huey, get the hell out of my house. I hate you. What? I can't believe you did that report. Blah blah blah. And Huey's like, whatever, Dad, whatever. Stuff, yeah, I don't want to live here anyway. Fuck you. And so they get in a big argument. Huey's going to leave or something, and then they settle it or something. And then Huey goes and dumps Jan for some stupid fucking reason. Like, says that she's snobby and she only wants to see his family because she's, like, experimenting with the commoners or something, which is ridiculous. Because she was, like, pretty nice the whole time. She was pretty tolerant of all this stupid shit. Anyway, so he dumps Jan. Why? I don't know. It killed all my sympathy for Huey as a character. Anyway, and then, so Jan leaves. I'm sorry, I'm just still pissed off about that. Anyway, and then they have some big argument, and his father's like, get out of the house, and Huey's like, okay, and Huey goes to walk out the front door to leave forever, but then stops. And this is the ending. I hate this ending. I hate it. Anyway, Huey stops, walks back inside, and sits on the couch and looks angry. And that's the ending. Nobody's learnt anything, nobody's changed, nobody's fucking done anything, really. So basically, Huey doesn't go anywhere. He wants to quit uni, but his parents are like, don't. And so he's just kind of like stuck in this awful situation with this awful father, and no one likes each other, and he's dumped his girlfriend, who was perfectly reasonable. And we're supposed to somehow feel like this play is enormously wonderful, and we're meant to feel happy or something. It was the most frustrating ending of a play I've ever read, and the Golden Age end was pretty frustrating. Stupid, really. I mean, it's kind of well written, and it was an enjoyable play, but it's fucking stupid.